Hi, my name is Aya. You're watching Aya Reads, and I'm here to do my May TBR and also my Mafia Romance TBR. So the Mafia Romance Readathon is, I believe, an annual readathon that is hosted by Jenn over at the Book Refuge, and this time she's joined by the Tall Book Girl, Jackie Kennedy, and Honest Fiction, which I'll leave all those channels down below. Hopefully the TBR jar will pick some prompts that will make it easier for me to fit the Mafia romances in. And if not, then I'll definitely talk about my reads after I pick my prompts. So for those of you who don't know, Mafia Romance Readathon takes place from May 9th to May 12th. One of my goals this year is I have this ongoing list of books that keep getting recommended on BookTube and Instagram. And every time a book gets recommended, it moves up a spot. And my goal this year is to have no books recommended over 150 times. And a bunch of those are actually Mafia romances. So I was planning on doing a vlog reading a couple of Mafia romances down the line. But this readathon is like the perfect opportunity for me to read some of those books. The reason a lot of Mafia romances get recommended a lot is because usually Mafia romances are series with a lot of books, usually more than 5. So yeah, moving on, let's start with the challenges from the TBR jar. As usual, I'm just gonna pick 5. If I feel like it, I might pick one more, but we'll see. This one. Oops. Read a graphic novel. Okay, so that is a pretty easy prompt, obviously. Let me go check out which graphic novels I have not read yet, and I'll pick one. No, you know what I just realized while I was looking at my graphic novels? Lore Olympus Volume 6 comes out in May. It actually comes out on May 7th, so I'm gonna be buying that around that time and definitely gonna be reading it. Lore Olympus was originally a webtoon by Rachel Smythe, and it's basically a Hades and Persephone retelling. It's very, very, very slow burn, but I've read the first 5 volumes and I have been enjoying my time. Honestly, it's not my favorite graphic novel series, but I am enjoying my time reading it, and I always love Hades and Persephone retelling, so it's perfect that this one comes out in May. Moving on. This one. Oops. Okay. Read a Pam Godwin. Okay, this is interesting. So she has recently been releasing this trilogy, and the first one is Hills of Shivers and Shadows, but another one of hers that is very, very high up on my to want to read, and it's Dark Notes by Pam Godwin, and I think I'm gonna go for that. Let me just grab it. Okay, so Dark Notes by Pam Godwin. I've only read one Pam Godwin, and it was Sea of Ruin, which is one of my favorite books of all time. And this one, I know Sea of Ruin is, I mean, it's a lot of people's favorite books, but I know it's one of Jen's favorite books. And the year prior to that, she read this one, and this was her favorite book of that, one of her favorite books of that year. So this is kind of like a taboo age gap. It follows a girl who's 17 and she has a pretty rough home life. Her brother or stepbrother, I guess, is awful, and she constantly gets used by men and boys mostly. Then she meets this piano teacher who had like an affair at his previous school, and now he's transferred to this new school, and he realizes what's going on with her, and he wants to give her a more powerful word than no, which is a safe word. So this is a BDSM romance. Obviously it's taboo because she is 17 and he's an adult. Obviously, I'm not okay with that in real life, but in fiction, I can read it. Even though I've only read one book by her, it was really, really dark, and I think she handled that very well, so very interested in this one. And I've been interested in this book for a while, so hopefully I can get around to it in May. This one. Read a paranormal romance. Okay, that is great. I haven't read a paranormal romance in a while. I'm gonna go for Heart Song by TJ Klune. So this is the 3rd book in the Green Creek series by him, and I really need to continue on with a bunch of my series. So this is obviously a paranormal romance. It's a werewolf romance, and in this book you follow Kelly and Robbie, And Kelly is the brother of one of the heroes in Wolfsong, and Robbie was a new member of the pack in the first book. And this, I believe, you follow years later, and it's them getting together. Their romance has been hinted ever since the first book, so very, very excited to read this one. And for those of you who don't know, Wolfsong is one of my favorite books of all time, and I did really love Raven Song. It's just not one of my favorites, but this one I have high hopes for. And this is an MM romance, by the way, for those of you who didn't know. I think I put the werewolf or the paranormal romance back too, but anyway, moving on. Okay, what does that say? Does that even? Okay. Book written by POC author. Okay, great. Let me see if there is one on my TBR. I don't think any of the Mafia Romance books are written by a POC author. Oh, I have one. Okay, let's do The Partner Plot by Christina Forrest. So this is technically the sequel to The Neighbor Favor, which on Goodreads it's not marked as a sequel, and it's standalone romance, so you can read it without having read the other one. But this one, you follow the sister, the female main character in the first book, and I believe this, like, there was some revelations in that book about her. And I believe this takes place after that. Two high school sweethearts get a second chance in this marriage of convenience romance. This is like a drunk married in Vegas, and they decide to stay married. I love these kinds of books. I love accidentally getting married in Vegas stories, and I also really love marriages of convenience. I did enjoy the first book, so hopefully I'll love this one too. This one. Read a Nikki Sloan. Okay, so I'm debating because I can continue on with the Nashville Neighborhood, which is probably what I should do, or I could read The Rivalry, because that, I don't know, I've just been in the mood to read that book. I don't know why. Yeah, I'm just gonna go for The Rivalry. Basically, this book is, I think it's on my 2024 TBR. Yes, it is. This is about this girl who, her family is very into this particular college football team, and on this wedding of her friend, she meets this guy and they hit it off and she really likes him. And then when they finally do meet again, she realizes he's the quarterback of the rivaling football team. He doesn't see it as that big a deal, but he doesn't realize how big her family is into this college football team. So she's at first very reluctant, but eventually he wins her over, and yeah, I've just been hearing so many good things about it. I have read 2 Nikki Sloans and I have enjoyed them. In fact, one of her books was one of my favorites I read last year, so I have very high hopes for this one. Okay, so I have 5. Let me just pick one because I feel like these prompts are a little bit boring. Let me pick this one. Oh, it's 2. Okay, let's do this one. Color wheel. Okay, now I wanted a fun one, so let's see. Okay, so let me do a screen recording and let's spin. Cyan. Okay, I don't know what kind of color that is. A light blue. Is there a simpler color wheel? Yes, let's do that one. I just am a simple girl. Pink. Okay. Let me see. Let me do some research here. Well, technically the partner plot is pink, but I already picked that one, so let's not pick that one again. Okay, I have one that is perfect. It is one I'm gonna be reading for the Mafia Romance Readathon, and it's Ruthless Stranger by Maggie Cole. The text is pink, nothing else, but I mean, this is a series where I believe all the titles have a different color, and maybe the spine is pink, I don't know. I don't care, it's pink in my opinion, so let's pick that one. And with that, I'm gonna start with the books I wanna read for the Mafia Romance. So this actually, it's funny because Jenn is obviously the host for the Mafia Romance Readathon, and the Mafia Wars, really, I have heard the most things about this series from her. I believe out of the 150 times this was recommended, I think maybe 130 of that is because she's talked about it. I know some of the books in this series are definitely some of her favorite books, but this one is an interesting book because this is about a woman who, I believe, she recently got divorced, and she has this fantasy of just having this anonymous stranger just fuck her and then leave. So she talks about this in Vegas with her friends, and this man overhears the conversation. So he goes up to her friends and tells them that he can fulfill this fantasy for her. So they are good friends, so they make sure to take his ID or take his wallet or stuff like that. And they have this amazing night together. And then I believe they decide to have like 2 nights together, and then they leave. But then one day they meet again at this meeting, and I believe he saw her, but she never saw him because she was blindfolded. But she immediately recognizes his voice, and he obviously knows who she is, and he cannot let her go. So this is the first book in a very long series. I believe it has 10 books. So I don't know what I'm setting myself up for, but I want to read this. And like I said, I am going to read it sometime this year because it has been recommended over 150 times. I can actually see how many times it has been recommended. It has been recommended 152 times. So that is quite a lot. So I'm very excited about this one. Yeah. Moving on, the next book I want to read for the Mafia Romance Readathon is Bound by Blood by Cora Riley. So I read the first book I want to read Bound by Duty, which I read the first book into 2021. So it has been a while. And to be honest, I don't remember a lot of what happened. So part of me was debating whether or not I should either reread the first book or read the book from Luca's perspective. So I'm still kind of debating on that, but a part of me just wants to continue on with this series since it is like a standalone. These are standalone romances technically. And I believe this book, one of the POVs is Dante, and I believe he is the antagonist for almost every other character in this series and in the Camorra Chronicles. But yeah, his wife died 4 years ago and he needs to get remarried. So Valentina is chosen for that role. But when they are married, he ignores her and she sets out to make him fall in love with her. So this is not that long, and this is another long-standing series. I really want to read the Born in Blood Chronicles, and I also want to start the Camorra Chronicles, which together is over 10 books as well. I didn't want to start all new series for this readathon. I did want to continue on with one. So I haven't read a whole lot of Mafia romances, so this one I really want to read, and I really want to read the third book. So maybe if I have time, although I don't think I will, I might also sneak in the third one, but I don't think I will have the time since it's only 4 days. And then I really want to read Broken Whispers by Neva Altaj. So this is another book, part of a very long series. And I was debating because I haven't read the first book yet, but I heard that the second book is definitely way, way, way better than the first one. And you can read it without having read the first book. So I figured let's just do that. So it's called the Perfectly Imperfect series. So this is all Mafia romances with main characters who have some sort of disability. Okay, so this follows the most beautiful woman in the Italian mafia and the Bratva's most feared monster. So this is about a scarred hero, which I really love scarred heroes. And like I said, I've just been hearing so many good things about especially this book. If we're looking at the bingo board, which I'll have that up for you here. A new to me author is Neva Altaj, but also Maggie Cole. Captor Captive? I don't think any of them are Captor Captive, but Italian mafia for sure. Hero is a boss. I guess Dante is a boss. Ruthless or Cruel? Yeah, Ruthless Strangers. Next in a series, I have Age Gap, probably. Some of them are Age Gap. Single Parent, I don't know, maybe. Bratva for sure. Tattooed Hero, probably. And Arranged Marriage for sure. So, yeah. I am very excited about this Mafia Romance Readathon because I have been wanting to read all of these books. And let me tell you, Broken Whispers, that series has been recommended 152 times as well. So very, very excited about these 3 books. And like I said, if I have time, I will continue on with the Born in Blood series, Bound by Hatred, because that is just... It's an enemies to lovers. I have heard great things about that one, so very excited. There is another series I really, really want to continue on with, and it's The Legacy of the Gods. The 6th one comes out in June, and I've only read the first one, and I really want to read the 6th one right when it comes out. So I need to get caught up. So the plan is to read at least these 2, and then if I have time, also read God of Ruin, so that in June, I only have to read God of Fury before God of War comes out. And if not, I can also read God of Ruin. So the second book follows Creighton and Annika. And the third book follows Jeremy and Cecily. So very excited about these two. These are all psychopath romances. This is a next gen series. It's all very dark. Lots of non-con, dub-con situations. So very dark. So May, even though it's springtime and a lot of sunny weather, is gonna be filled with a lot of dark romances for me. But that's okay. I tend to like those. Those were all the books I'm planning on reading this month. Definitely let me know in the comments below if you've read any of these books and what your thoughts were. Also, I would really love to know, are you taking part in the Mafia Romance Readathon? Once Jenn, so it's not just this bingo board, there's also like oddly specific prompts where you can stack points, which to be honest, I don't understand how that works yet, but she said that she'll explain it in her TBR. So once that is up, I will leave that linked for you. So I think she'll explain all of that in her TBR, but I'll also leave her Instagram down below where you'll find the bingo board and stuff like that. I would also really love to know what is the book that you're looking forward to most reading in May, and I really hope you enjoyed this video. Definitely let me know by leaving a like if you did, and thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.